Good evening. Liz and Winsbert Regis, you guys are on early. Liz, welcome to the call. Always a pleasure to have you on. Um, I know you're keeping warm in cold Toronto. Winsbert Regis, my brother, how are you from St. Lucia? Hope all is well. And Galaxy J6 Plus. Um, I know this person is always on for some reason. I can't remember. Who is this? Oh, yes, Winsbert. I did a live today. Thank you. Yes, and for those who may, Lisa, I don't know if you're aware of the live Winsbert is talking about. I was on the beach, near the beach, having breakfast today, and it was just so beautiful. The sun was shining, the clouds were so pretty, and I just felt the need to do a Facebook Live. So if you get a chance to do look at it, do watch it, who knows, you might be even more intrigued with St. Lucian beauty and want to come to visit us as soon as possible. Oh, Cora, is there any way you could change your name to Cora instead of the Galaxy J6? Welcome, Cora. Cora is from Toronto, and Cora, I know you're experiencing the full force of winter in the Northern Hemisphere. As I always say, you guys are always welcome to the tropics, always welcome to beautiful St. Lucia. And now you know you have partners there. All you have to do is to link us up, and those who can, those who are able, will show you a good time and show you the places to go. So you're no longer just, a visitor who comes to an all-inclusive hotel. You have friends, you have persons who can show you around and truly, fully immerse yourself into St. Lucian culture and the various activities that not all visitors would get an opportunity to partake in. Still outside, though. I didn't get that, Cora. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is 15 minutes to the hour. We are expecting our CEO to grace us with his presence and to continue to inspire us. As you know, on a Tuesday on the forensic call. Yes, Lisa, I remember you. Oh yeah, it's Thunder Bay, Ontario, not Toronto. Yeah, but it's in the same province, Ontario. Yeah. Yes, Lisa, so as I said, if you do get a chance, do look up my Facebook Live today. And the same goes for Cora. And I'm sure that you guys will be tempted to come quickly when you see the nice, pristine beach and the calm waters and the beautiful skyline and the cloud cover. Ah, imagine for somebody who sees this so often, I was mesmerized. I was drawn to it. And I just felt that it was necessary to do a live at that time. So let's get more persons onto this call, ladies and gentlemen. We are hoping to get a packed call as always. Our calls in the last few weeks have been packed, and we want it to be packed because we want to create momentum, advance momentum, and sustain momentum. And that's what our business is all about. And once we can do that, we as independent business owners will achieve continued success in our business. So I will mute myself for a bit, as I will also try to get as many persons, or many of my partners as possible on this call. Okay, so see you guys in a bit. All
Please, please.
before to ensure that as many persons as possible benefit from this training, this
Absolutely.
invaluable training. So I will continue to welcome persons as they come on the call, because we already have persons from a few continents and we continue to have persons coming in. Okay, well, let me welcome Anthea Emmanuel, Dr. Emmanuel from St. Lucia, Charlene Jeanne Lewis from the Sister Isle of Dominica, Delano Brown. Delano, I believe you're from Barbados, and if I recall correctly, last night, Maria, I think you said you're Maria's downline, Maria Baptiste. Fifth year, I believe it's more, I believe that's Philippines. Good morning. Again, persons, as you come on the call, do indicate where your name and where you're joining us from. Fribonia Opondo. Now, this is one of our Kenyan leaders, and I believe it must be 5 a.m. in Kenya now. Do correct me. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Janet Mensah. Lawrence Chan, I believe Lawrence is from Singapore. Um, is Renee? Is that correct? Right. You see, I'm up. Maybe I have some good memory, thanks to FOL. Yes, we have Marie Sim, Nora Bastian. Welcome to the call. We have Abdullah and Opulence Global Philippines. The Ottawa team is in the house. Rochelle Wolf. Rochelle, maybe Rachel, sorry. Rachel, maybe you can tell us where you're joining us from. Teresa Bolton, I know is from Alberta. Team, um, you can tell us where you're from. I don't know if it's team. I can't remember the surname, but I believe he is from. Is it Sweden? But do let us know in the chat. ladies and gentlemen? Where are you joining us from? Yes, Lauren Chan from Singapore. Very good. Fibonia, Kenya, 4:30 a.m. Okay. And Faith from Singapore too. Very good. Abdulia from California. Welcome, Abdulia. And yes, so yes, and Marie Sims, Sandy Rutt, and Mona Siret signing in from together with Marie Sim at Stony Plain, Alberta. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the call. So Renee, it's now 3 minutes. We have after the hour, we have many persons on the call already. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, partners, good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you are. Tonight, we are privileged and blessed once again to have Rene Liao, our youngest millionaire in the business, one who has, over the last few weeks, shared with us his journey, his many struggles, and his ability and his tenacity to continue to overcome each and every time the hurdles he encounters the hurdles. And so, ladies and gentlemen, to continue the pitfalls of various compensation plan, I introduce you to Rene Liao. Help me welcome Rene. Welcome, Rene.
Well, again, thank you so much, Cuthbert. As always, you are just an amazing host and a natural born host, if I may say. And looking forward to, of course, in the future, hearing you do these kind of trainings for us as well too. So
thank you, Rene. I look forward to doing it someday.
fantastic, yeah. And so
Yes.
again, a very good evening or good morning, good afternoon to everyone on the call. Want to say thank you again for taking the time to be on our weekly forensic training calls. It's really just an amazing call that really gets you recharged every single week and to head into the rest of the week on the right way. And again, last week we had a fantastic call. I know that a lot of you guys had sent me some sort of messages just in regards to doing part two. So, as promised, we are continuing with part two of the comp plan pitfall. So just a really quick recap of what we talked about last week. So mainly we talked about just what we call game over clauses. And of course, we went through the differences between commissions or residual income versus bonuses. You want to focus really on the commissions because they pay you week after week after week, whereas bonuses, it's a one-time deal. You get to constantly requalify for bonuses. And so a comp plan is much more healthier if a lot of its focus and payout is going to be in the commissions. We also talked about how a payout of the company also matters. So how much of every dollar of revenue the company receives is a good amount of payout back to the field. And we said that, some companies barely have 20, 30%. Ours is sitting at about a 75% payout as a company, which is about as healthiest as it could be. And we also talked a little bit in regards to, of course, different levels of pay. And I think this was a big sort of a eye-opener and caught a lot of epiphanies last week because, again, you have to ask the question, well, how many levels am I getting paid down to? If a plan only pays you down to 8 levels or 10 levels, the longer you're in that business, of course, the more you're losing out. So that we talked about heavily, of course, last week as well, too. We quickly went through the different types of comp plans that are out there from unilevel and the downsides to that, to the matrices, the downside of matrices, and of course the stretch-out breakaway and how they break away from you and you get less. And we even talked about how sometimes these comp plans are actually designed to have you contradict on how you want to work with your team. So it almost is like a backward incentive that you don't want to help certain people in your team because you don't get paid on them anymore, and all those funny things too. And of course, we ended off with the binary system. Now, even within the binary systems, we talked about the good binaries, versus the sneaky binaries or binaries that do a lot of things that can kind of throw you off there. And that's sort of where we left off. Last week, I did leave off with, I guess, this sort of a diagram here that just kind of showed again how, it's going to fast forward here, sorry, how, here we go, with the exact same volume on the left leg and the right leg, that in other companies who only pay you 10% on the weaker leg, it's only about $180 on this 1,800 volume, Whereas with ours, of course, because we pay you on the 1/3, 8.5%, plus 2/3 on the other side at 8.5%, it's a much bigger payout. So 180 versus 460. So that's kind of where we left off. And there's so much more to talk about. So that's a really quick recap of last week's call. So I'm just going to backtrack now a little bit and follow my slides here. And the next big pitfall that we have to watch out for is a thing called ranks. Now, ranks, of course, almost every company has them, but the key thing to ask yourself is, well, how does a company use these ranks, and how do these ranks at all impact your income? All right. So in other words, most companies actually put ranks out there for one reason and one reason only. It's mostly to be able to, as we talked about last week, to really restrict the flow of money from the company to the people, to the distributors like me and you. And we talked about how, even our very own CEO of the company, Mr. Ramirez Garlu, how when he used to design compensation plans for other companies, they would give him some sort of, I guess, like a mandate. We want to look like we pay out 60%, but in reality, we want to pay out about 25 or 30%. And the way that they can achieve this is oftentimes by using what we call ranks. So again, so if in the compensation plan, in order, you had to reach these ranks in order to unlock bonuses, then one question to ask is, well, what do these bonuses really have to do with you? So a lot of companies, as we mentioned before, they put so much focus on bonuses, like this bonus, that bonus. I mean, the comp plan PDF document, it could be 20 pages and like 18 pages is bonuses, right? But if a lot of these bonuses, especially the bigger bonuses or the infinity bonuses, are tied into ranks, then if it's hard to achieve these ranks, because they are, like ranks are definitely, it's easier to achieve the first rank or the second rank, but to go, into the higher and higher ranks, it just gets tougher and tougher. And so if it gets tougher and tougher, but all these bonuses are put aside in these high ranks, then what do these bonuses have anything to do with you? Like, you're not even getting these bonuses because guess what? You're not at that rank, right? And so, in other words, most companies have bonuses that have nothing to do with 99% or more of the people in the company. So, funny story. I met this one gentleman many years ago who came into, of course, one of our meetings. And after the meeting, he was polite, came to me and said, well, Renee, I'd love you to meet one of my top guys from his company. So he's trying to introduce me to one of his top guys. And of course, he was boasting about how this guy makes, I don't know, something crazy like $1 million a month or something like that. And to make a long story short, though, what I asked him was, I said, well, this guy must have a really high rank. He's like, yeah, he's the highest rank in the company. And I said, that must be really unique to attain because most people probably can't get that kind of a rank. I mean, he's not going to be really good and making a lot of money. He's like, yeah. And I said, I mean, it sounds like probably not even 1% of your company even have his rank. And he's like, you're right. So then I said, so what you're telling me is that my chance of making the money that you're bragging about this top guy is making, that my chance of getting there is already less than 1%, because you just told me only 1% have that rank, that have that income, whereas majority of them other ones don't have that income. And he realized how quickly that was a big mistake to say to me, right? So, again, most bonuses don't have much to do with majority of people in the company. So really, ranks are a pain in the butt. Now, you might be wondering, well, Renee, we have ranks in, of course, Opulence Global. We have like sub-director 1, 2, 3, 4, royal and also presidential. But the main difference, and we're going to talk about this, is that our ranks don't actually impact majority. I'm talking about like, if not all of the incomes you can make. There's no restriction of money you can make. What I mean by that, for example, is let's say you're a brand new person that just got started today in this company. And I've been here for 12 years. Now, let's say this week, we both had left-right volumes of exactly 5,400. New person and me had the exact same volume, right? In our company, we both get paid the exact same amount. I'm a lecture director 4, brand new lifestyle advisor, not even lifestyle director one, but guess what? Our plan is fair. It pays us the exact same dollar for the exact same effort. Whereas in other companies, the brand new person might only get $10 or $100, and I got paid $460 a power cycle. That's what I'm talking about. Is that we do have ranks, but our ranks are more about the lifestyle type stuff like the cruises, the extra MGRS stuff, the car bonuses. But your core commissions, the stuff that we really talked about last week, and the importance of the commissions, nothing gets impacted by that. So again, if you're enjoying this call, we'd love to hear some of your feedback. If you're loving the call so far, just say loving it. You know what I mean? Like I hope that this is an eye opener, because in most other companies, if a brand new person got started and did X amount of volume, and I've been here for 12 years, trust me, our incomes are much different for the exact same volume because of ranks in the companies. So how are we doing so far?
Renee, um,
Yes.
I'm intrigued by this last point you made. Whilst the company Opulence Global has ranks, the effort that a newbie, somebody starting as a lifestyle advisor, the effort that that person puts and receives and the benefits they receive is not less than what a lifestyle advisor for or lifestyle sorry, lifestyle director 4, lifestyle director 3, or even a lifestyle director 1 would get. We get the same thing. So there is a degree of equity in it, and that is very enlightening. And I'm sure persons can see that how fair our plan is, and how fair the bonuses are.
Yes. And you know what's funny, Cuthbert, is I met other people in these other companies. And it's funny because they've almost been, not to say in a bad way, but they've almost been brainwashed to believe that they deserve less. I think it's because they haven't seen a plan like ours before. So other companies, people will say things like, well, Renee, that person deserves more money because he worked harder. I mean, to me, the first day I joined this business, I realized if I work my butt off and I work just as hard as the number one guy in the company does, at least we get paid the same amount, because guess you know what it is? I mean, because in terms of commissions wise, because it's a fair system. So yeah, thank you very much for that feedback as well, Cuthbert.
We've
So
got some comments. Okay, as usual, loving it, loving it, loving it, love it, learning and loving it. Oh, you're just getting lots of love tonight,
okay, well, let's keep it going then. All right, so this is totally fun. Okay, so again, ranks are really pain in the butt, and again, they you really have to achieve the rank firstly, and it's not even easy in some cases. Now you're going to see some examples coming up, because aside from trying to achieve the rank, here is the biggest catch. Some companies, you have to maintain your rank. You have to maintain your rank. And this is a terrible thing when you go up the ranks. The question is, do you stay there, or do you perhaps have to actually go down? Okay, so it's a really demotivating thing when you can actually go down the ranks as well too. So the question is, can you lose your rank? And if you can actually lose your rank, then do you also lose your bonuses, right? Because if you lose your rank, then all of the bonuses you had with it, well, guess what? Do they also go away with the rank too? So I said that on last week's call, I met some people that can make great money because the ranks are getting higher and higher, but the moment something happens and the rank deranks or they demote the rank, their income from 20 grand can become 5 grand. It's a drastic change, right? So now the other question, to go more in depth with this, is if you can lose your rank, well, can your team lose your rank? Now watch this, right? Let's say you're doing really good, but if your team loses their ranks, then what happens to you? Most likely, like if you had this rank, but one of your persons deranked, it usually means they don't qualify you anymore for your rank. So guess what? You go down with the sinking ship. Now, so one person goes down, it drags a bunch of people.
Everybody.
So all these people that had lifestyles and families to feed and all this stuff, now they're all crashing down to get, it's the scariest thing. So, we're just blessed that our CEO has the heart of gold and made the most generous compensation plan in MLM history today. So here's a really quick example to how to explain this. So it's a very simple diagram actually. So how most ranks work is like this. So to become a D rank, okay, you have to have 2 E's, okay? To become a C rank, you gotta have 3 D's, all right? To become a B rank, you gotta have 4 C's. And to become an A rank, you gotta have 5 B's, like something like that, right? Every company can be slightly different, but overall, you're trying to build duplications of yourself, right? Now in Opulence Global, it's a 2 by 2 by 2 system. It's the easiest. It's like, you get your 2 LD1s, help your 2 LD1s become LD2s, you're in LD3, help your 2 LD2s become LD3s, you're in LD4, help 2 LD3s become LD4s, and so again, it's the same simple system. Other companies make it really tough, like you have 5 of the B ranks here, right? So you can see here in my diagram that the green one here is you, right? So that's you. And the goal is you want to have 3 Ds, right? So if I were to ask you, what is your current rank right now if you have 3 Ds, your current rank would be a C rank. Okay, so hopefully everyone follows so far. Let's see what happens on the next slide. So again, right now that's you. You are a C rank because you have 3 Ds. So you are a C rank. On to the next slide. So let's say that we don't have 3 Ds yet. You have 2 Ds and you have 1 E here, right? So the question for you is, well, what is your goal right now? So you have 2 Ds and 1 E. So what is your goal? Well, it seems pretty simple. Your goal is to help rank this person E become a D. You want person E to become a D. However, this is what we call the compensation plan contradiction that I learned again from our very own CEO. Because what happens here is you're trying so hard to help person E become a D rank that you don't want to help your other 2 Ds, right? Because in most ranks, if these other 2 Ds, like this D over here, or this D over here, if they actually had 3 E's, or had their own, 3 Ds, and let's say this D became a C before you did, oh my goodness, now you're screwed. So like you are so screwed. So in other companies, if either one of these 2 Ds that you see there were to become a C first before you became a C, kiss your bonuses goodbye. Like, because if they can't pay you, they're going to pay him first, right? So it's just scary. But again, we call it a contradiction because initially you were helping all 3 to become Ds, right? But guess what? 2 became Ds. The last person, E, you're putting all your focus on them. You're probably going to start ignoring your other 2 Ds, right? But that's what we call the compensation plan contradiction. You're not helping your team evenly. And so again, this is a very scary thing. So on to the next slide, all right?
So, Renee,
now, yes,
before you proceed, I'm looking at what you just explained there.
please.
It means that the team spirit is only for a percentage up to the point where you're above your downlines. But once your downlines are now working hard and pushing themselves, and I mean it's their effort, and yet still, at that point, because of the way the compensation plan is put together, it is to your disadvantage to have your downline to get there before you, because you suffer greatly as a consequence. So you can understand it's self-preservation at that point.
Yes, I love that word. You're trying to stay alive. You're trying to stay, head above the water, right? Because, and by the way, a perfect story for this example is some of you may know our other millionaire, Sherry Zhao, who's currently residing in the USA. In our previous company, so going way back beyond 12 years ago, this is, when I was still in my 20s or something like that, So like early 20s. Now we were in a different company, and I was actually her downline. So in that previous company, okay. Of course, when I got into Opulence, we kind of switched around. But in that company, I was actually her downline. So what happened was, it was really structured like these ranks. So what happened was, she had, me on one side, someone else on the other side. What happened though was, I just got to work, as I always do. I'm always laser focused, and I ended up surpassing her rank. So she had months where she's making like, I don't know, probably like 4 grand, 5 grand, 6 grand that month. The moment I went above her rank, from me downwards, everything was cut off. So long story short, she eventually just sort of, didn't really do much for that company. So it's just really disgusting. And yet you will meet people out there who are always trying to brag about this rank, that rank, this rank, that rank. They don't even realize that these ranks can actually screw you in a lot of cases, right? So yeah, so again, you're always trying, like you said, you're trying to keep your head above water and not drown with when you're, again, so it's just really backwards, because you don't want to help the team that was making you money in the first place, right? So it's really a contradiction. So again, on the next slide is another example of what we just talked about, right? And so you can see here that this was the example I just talked about. If that person who was a D became a C, again, you just lost a whole lot of bonuses. And if your plan was bonus focused, then it's a major game over. Like your income went from, I don't know, like a lot to very like peanuts now, right? So what's happening now though is, let's say you want to hang on and you're just trying to catch up, right? You're trying to catch up now. What's happening now is, now you're trying to slow down person C. You say, hey, C, slow down. You're going too fast. If you go too fast, you're going to make it harder for me to keep up with you. And you want C to slow down, and before you can catch up with other people. A major contradiction, because again, you always want to be, again, helping your team, right? You always want to be helping your team. In this case, again, if that person D, and I saw some messages about the screen not changing, but if you were person D became person C, wow. And you're still a D basically, because you don't have your 3Ds yet. It's a tough crawl. So in some companies, here's a fun way of putting it. When you hear someone that brags about them being, a senior this, regional vice president that, double diamond this, emerald this, double ruby, as our CEO calls it, super NATO commander, if you see these people, the one thing I always think about when I meet these people is, how many people above that person are screwed? Think about it, right? If it is a huge organization and the guy in the middle had this super high rank, most likely every single person above him has no chance, because he's the one that got there first, right? So again, it's just a really different way of viewing this, that it really has negative impacts on the organization. But you might be wondering, well, why do companies put bonuses in the first place and put ranks in the first place? Companies do this because they know that they attach bonuses with their ranks, the quick money. They attach the quick money, so they shine a little carrot in front of you, so you don't even see anything else. You don't, if you didn't understand this stuff to start with, and you're told to focus on your first goal, which is get this first rank, get this bonus, that's all you're trying to do, is get that quick money. But long term, it's going to hurt you, right? So another example though is what we just talked about before. So let's say you are a C rank. So somehow you manage to do it exactly perfectly, and you have your 3Ds, and so you're a C. So you're a C in this case, and you just perfectly managed to have your 3Ds. The question becomes now, well, what happens if one of your D loses his rank and becomes an E? So what got you there, the 3Ds, one of them dropped their rank. Well, guess what? Then you just lost your rank. So from a C, you now became a D. You lost a bunch of your bonuses, probably your commissions as well too, and you got another, what we call game over. It's just game over. Now, beyond the money you lose, I think what's even more detrimental, or what's even more crazier in emotions is is it's so demotivating. Like it's so demotivating. Wouldn't you agree? You work your butt off, you achieve this perfect structure of 3Ds, one of them D ranks. Like how demotivating is it to lose your rank? Now you gotta do it all over again. But let's say maybe you're strong. Maybe you can handle the up and downs. This is really down in my opinion. It was hard for me to come out from this, but let's say you can handle the downs. Maybe you're strong enough, but how about your team? Like if your team lost their rank, don't you think they're demotivated? So again, if this D, lost their rank, how do you think they feel? Now you got to try to keep them motivated. So I'm just saying, when I've seen this happen in the past, it's like like they quickly go up their incomes together, but once things start to fall apart, it crashes just as fast. And then guess what? They're looking for a new home. They're jumping into the company, and it's just and it's just sad because I think had they understood this information first, they wouldn't have gotten into the company in the first place. So again, these are the kind of comp plans that are out there. Thankfully, we don't have this issue whatsoever in Opulence Global because again, in fact, let me prove this point. In other companies, let's say me and Reza are lifestyle director fours, right? Here's a perfect example of this. In these other companies, you don't want to be necessarily above me or Reza because it means you have to become a lifestyle royal or presidential to get your full commissions, right? And maybe you don't have your other side built. In our company, if you had Reza on one side and you had me on your other side, and you were simply a brand new member as a lifestyle advisor, you are rolling in the money. You would be you'd be hysterically, retired, for for life. Because in our plan, despite the ranks, that volume still comes up and keeps paying you week after week after week after week, regardless of rank. That is the difference with our plan. So when we pause right now here and just I want to feel some more comments and see what you guys think of this so far.
Whoa, Renee. Somebody said that this is the worst comp plan ever, and I totally agree. Imagine if one person, one of your downline goes down from a D to an E, everybody suffers. I mean, this is disturbing, and I can understand why persons get so demotivated that they jump ship. We are blessed in this company that we do not have this terrible comp plan, and that, as you said, once you do the work, you have the commissionable volume, you get the payout is the same no matter what level you're at. I think persons are really impressed with what they're learning. Um, we are getting a lot of compliments about the worst comp plan ever. Whoa, learning much, game changer. Most people are not aware of the pitfalls. And Renee, I must say thank you on behalf of everyone this evening and last week for what you are doing in enlightening us on the pitfalls of compensation plans out there. Someone said, I'm so glad to be learning about these other comp plans. So am I, Rachel Wolf, and many others. Amajid said, we lost you. It looks like they probably, okay. And then Lawrence said, Opulence Global has the best comp plan in the world today. Absolutely, Lawrence. I totally agree with
Absolutely.
you. Okay,
All right. Well,
Renee.
hey, let's keep it going, right? So, again, thank you for everyone just to share again your thoughts with me. Um, so again, ranks is a huge one, and again, the key thing with our ranks, just to say one more time, our ranks don't impact your commissions, in the sense that you could be brand new, I could be here for 12 years, the exact same volume pays us the same amount, the same cycles, right? Our bonuses are more about, the car bonuses, the cruises, the luxury vacations, and those kind of things, all right? So now the other pitfall, is really about a lot of the gimmicks and car programs that are out there. Now, we also have a car program, but the difference is this, is just be careful with other companies, because some of the companies, they actually make you sign a new lease. So they're not okay with you driving, a roughly new car of 2 or 3 or 4 years old. They want you to buy a specific brand new car if you want the car payment. But what I've seen sometimes happen is someone thinks they can qualify for this car bonus every month. They sign a new lease, but they're not able to keep up with those car qualifications. So guess what? Now collections are coming after you because you can't afford your car payments, right? So the question you need to ask when it comes to these kind of card programs is, well, if you don't qualify next month, do you get screwed? And so again, the difference again with Opulence Global is our car program is a month to month. And you can even use a car that is about 3 years or newer. So you don't have to go and get a brand new lease. And beyond that, if you don't want the car payment in our company, it's so cool, you can get double the value in products. So instead of $500 for a cash payment towards a car, because I'm not sure if I want a car, or I'm not sure if I need a car, or maybe I'm not sure if I can make that car bonus for next month. But guess what? You can actually choose to get a doubling of products. So instead of $500 of cash for your car, get up to about $1,000 of shopping credits. Take that $1,000, guess what? Buy more products, sell more products. It's $1,000 again cash in your pocket, right? So there's a very quick point here. Just want to mention, as long as you're not getting sucked into having to sign a lease, like you must do a lease, if that's the case, don't do it. Otherwise, it should be a good thing. As long as they don't make you do that lease, you're good to go. So there's a company actually, many years ago, where so many people were doing these BMWs, and the whole company's thing was like BMW this, BMW that, BMW this. Literally within half a year, you could see on Lease Busters, which is where you try to get rid of your lease, hundreds of BMWs. People try and get rid of it because they couldn't afford to keep up with the payment. And in some sad cases, guess what? People go bankrupt because you signed a financial contract to lease a car for 3 or 4 years. You can't make your second, third month payment. What are you going to do? You have to declare bankruptcy. And it screwed so many people's credit score. So I think after that, people became more savvy and more aware. But again, just wanted to make sure that we point that out in this training of comp plan pitfalls. All right. So, okay, here is another one, and hopefully I can finish this in time. Does the competition plan have any kind of flushing or the blocking of commissionable volume? Flushing or the blocking of commissionable volume. So CV again, or commissionable volume, is basically sales done by your team, right? And ideally, in our system, it's a binary system, you get paid to infinity. So whatever happens from infinity, it comes all the way up, and every single person on the way up gets the exact same CV. It's fair, yes? Okay, so it's fair. In other companies, it ain't the same like that, right? So let's go into some more depth here. So first question though is, does your competition plan flush the volume? Now, at the very least, most companies in MLM, I'll say this first, as long as you maintain their monthly volume of purchases of products, they don't flush the volume. This is the most basic one, right? Every company does that. What I'm talking about though is other companies have all these other little tricks or little hidden clauses in the policies that if you don't do this, then guess what? It's going to also flush your volume. There's a company I looked at many years ago. It had 7 different ways to flush your volume. Now that's talking about if you don't maintain your monthly. Beyond the monthly, there's like 6 other things that if you don't do properly, they will flush your volume. For example, one company, if you didn't fill out this form every single month, guess what? Boom, they flush your volume. If you don't sell enough product, boom, they flush your volume. If you don't sponsor a new person every month, boom, they flush your volume. It's like, you know, you don't sometimes realize these things because maybe we don't read in depth into the fine print, if you want to call it. But a lot of companies have these things, right? So I want to make one key differential with our comp plan is it's so beautiful because the owner understands that not everyone perhaps comes in and does the monthly 150, right? So in other companies, if you want to keep your volume, you have to maintain the minimum of like 150 of purchases per month. If you drop below 150, it still flushes. In our company, because the owner is so understanding, even just by maintaining $35, you can keep your volume until, you know, you as your sales go up, you earn more income, you can actually then raise your minimum 35 to 150. Now at $35, again, you can keep the volume, but you don't cycle until, of course, you become an LP, pay $75, or become an LA and pay the 150. But at least we have an option for people to contribute $35, which is bare minimum. I mean, that's not even a bottle of Fountain of Life. It's barely, you know, like two toothpicks, whatever it is, right? So at the very least, you should be buying your own products, which are already more than $35. But at least we have that as a feature to keep your volume, right? Well, really, aside from that one thing, Opulence Global does not flush your volume compared to all these other companies out there. So again, beyond this though, another way that companies actually flush your volume is, this is actually just very, very scary. So, you know, in our comp plan, right? Let's say you're supposed to make, let's say 1,200 this week. Okay, so your payout commission was supposed to be 1,200. And let's say you had 1,200, but you had so much other volume on your bigger leg. Make sense? So you have two legs. The smaller leg added 2/3 of the bigger leg was going to pay you about 1,200 or so. But on the big leg, you had all this other extra volume. Like some of you guys on the call already have a big leg, right? Well, imagine if the company paid you the 1,200 and flushed the rest of it. Yes, that happens in other companies. So every week, no matter how big your big leg is, once they pay you what they could pay you, the rest is gone. And the way they justify this, I don't even know how you can justify this. Like this is disgusting when I hear about this. And I hope you get my point. To prove my point, I'll give you an example with a diagram here because we have it further ahead. So imagine here, you had 1,800 volume and 100,000 volume, right, guys? In Opulence Global, it takes 1,800 here, takes 3,600 over here. The total is 5,400. You get paid 460. Now, the 100,000 volume, we took 3,600, right? And you're left with what, 9,964, 100, right? Well, guess what? In other companies, once they pay you this 460, guess what happens to the rest of the volume? It's flushed. It's it's disgusting. So that happens in other companies. Okay, that's one thing. And going back up here too, just to backtrack here. So again, does it flush volume after you reach a certain payout? In ours, whatever it doesn't use, you keep for life. We don't do that. Now, in other companies, every year, every once a year, doesn't matter who you are, every once a year, whatever you didn't use, guess what happens, guys? It flushes your volume. So imagine in 1 year, you built up a big team, you've got 100,000 volume or $1 million or $10 million of volume. Every year, they will flush your volume. It is just disgusting. Like it's just horrendous out there, right? But again, you won't know this unless you know how to ask these questions or know how to read the fine print, if it's in the fine print even. So it's a scary thing out there. Again, Opulence Global never flushes volume. Also, does the composition plan have a block on the volume? So here's where in other companies, when someone down in Infinity Land does sales, In our company, that volume, every single person on the way up gets that volume. In other companies, again, depending on your rank, oftentimes you don't get all that volume. You might get a lot less or even very little. Or if someone down below has a higher rank than you, it might stop with them. There's so many things that they can do to not give you the volume from infinity. And so again, in our company, guess what? We don't have this issue. So, rest assured, be happy. We don't have these issues at Opulence Global. Another issue is, it's called the carryover. So is there a maximum to how much volume you can carry over week after week after week? So for example, let's say this week you had an amazing week. You had I think in Singapore, they had close to 70 lifestyle advisors that got launched over that weekend with our CEO being in the house there. So 70 lifestyle advisors times 500 CV each is about 35,000 35,000 of volume, right? But in other companies, what they'll say is, well, you can only carry over 10,000 of it or none of it at all, because once you got paid out this week, the rest you don't keep. So other companies do all these things to constantly take what you've already built, and it's just disgusting. Again, so we have no cap on carryover either. So whatever you got this week, if you weren't able to cash out on it because you didn't have your other side in a volume, whatever you don't have, guess what? It carries over to the following week. Okay. Another one that I don't think I put here because it's that's a bit of an older PowerPoint was, in our company, when you hit your maximum weekly commissions, right? So let's say you're a lifestyle director too, and you can make, let's say, 2,000 a week. Let's say this week you actually made 3,000, but at your current rank, so you get all the volume from infinity, right? It all counts for you, but at your rank, you were able to earn 2,000 this week, but you actually could have made 3,000. In other companies, that extra 1,000, guess what happens to it? They remove the volume and they don't pay you. So it's disgusting. You didn't get paid and they remove the volume. In our company, if you're at LD2 and you're supposed to be making that 2,000 that week or whatever, but you made 3,000, guess what? The extra 1,000, it doesn't take the volume. It leaves it in your account. And then next week, you get paid the 1,000. Does that make sense, guys? I hope you get this. Opulence Global does not take any excess volume that you could not use. It'll just pay you what you could this week and pay you the rest next week. And it keeps rolling forward. So you never, ever lose a dime in Opulence Global. So, I hope that was an eye-opener, because if you've ever been in companies where you've seen this kind of stuff, maybe give me like a quick shout out. But again, let's pause right there and just have some more thoughts here.
Well, Renee, in fact, somebody just sent me a message. This is why MLM has such a bad name in certain places, because when you look at what you've identified there, you've listed there, the flushing of volume. I mean, I've suffered from it from another MLM company, and I just got out immediately. I cut my losses, that was it. And there are persons who are going to stay, and then after a long time, when all your volume has been flushed, you realize, oh my, after all the effort I put in, I cannot get compensated for it. But I am so happy that in this company, we do not have these issues. We do not have these stumbling blocks. We do not have these demotivators. And all it does is encourages us and motivates us to do more and more and more. There are many comments here. Yes, Renee, it's amazing how much our CEO cares for all of us and gives back so much to the field. No wonder, Valencia Biscom said, no wonder MLM has such a bad name. Grateful to remain. Arthur Anthony said, this is why Opulence is home. to all serious network marketers. No more blood in the blue waters. Absolutely, absolutely.
Love that
Ashton,
one.
yeah, this is great from Arthur Anthony of St. Lucia. Ashton Henderson said, same here. He concurs with Arthur. And Fribonia in Kenya says, one can join broke and leave even more broke with this plan.
That's
Absolutely,
funny.
because
That's
all
true.
it's doing is taking away from you, Renee, and it's the company that benefits all the time from the hard work and effort of partners. We are so thankful that we do not have this problem in Opulence Global. And that is why we as partners need to be confident. We need to be able to go out there with that confidence when we speak to prospects, when we speak to individuals who want to change and they want to make that positive change in their lives, that we know we have an option for them, that they can make that change if they are determined and desirous of achieving success.
Absolutely. And so, again, the one comment on why, it's sad, but it's true. Some companies give MLM a bad name. And again, the video that we have coming out soon with our CEO is that, you know, like MLM, it can be illegal, but you just have bad companies trying to be like MLM, So unfortunately, it's our job, because this industry is truly the only industry that can give the average person with almost no income an opportunity to get involved, and with their own efforts, literally, the sky's the limit. It's an amazing opportunity. That's why I'm here, because as a senior programmer working at Canada's top 4 largest telecom companies, it wasn't going to give me the lifestyle I needed. I didn't have the money to open a massive, traditional brick and mortar or whatever business. I didn't have the money. It was my only option, and it was my savior. So again, we have to do our best to, if someone complains about MLM, say, yeah, well, that's that company. There's better ones out there, and defend and protect this beautiful industry that we have. So sorry, I had to do a quick little insert there.
Yeah,
Again, moving on.
Rennie,
Yeah.
Rennie, and that is why we should be so grateful and appreciative of this company. Here we have you training us about the industry, training us about the pitfalls of compensation plan. All we have to do is to sign on to a Zoom call free of charge, which is this is
Yeah.
something that you would have to pay thousands of dollars,
Agreed.
okay, to get. And I totally agree with you. And our CEO always says MLM is the equalizer. So it does not matter what socioeconomic background you're from, what country you're from, whether it's first world, third world, developing countries, it does not matter.
Doesn't matter.
With MLM, it is the equalizer.
Thank you so much. And you're right, because you said it better than I could say it. So thank you so much, Cuthbert.
Thank you.
Yeah, so again, more to cover. And again, oh my goodness, it's already 9:51. Time flies. Okay, so one of the key thing as well too, and I don't know if I have it further ahead, but I'm going to say it now, um, is there really a maximum in how much you can make from your business center? So of course, this is a big one, because in our system, imagine this, right? One business center, okay, can make you how much, folks? If you know the answer, write it down. Okay, if you had one business center, okay, how much can each center make you, right? And the answer, if you're writing it down in the chat box, should be $20,000 per week. So you can make 20,000 per week on one center, correct? But in Options Global, as a LA, you actually get 3 centers. So you can make 20. Once you cap the 20,000 for 6 weeks in a row, you can open a second one and make another 20,000, open a third one. So altogether, you can make $60,000 per week. But forget the other 2 for now. I'm only talking about the first one. In ours, on one center, you can build how many legs? 2 legs, and make 20,000 per week. So if you follow with me, say you follow one center in Opulence Global, You build 2 legs, 1 leg here, 2 legs here, 2. So 2 legs, and you can get paid 20,000 per week. Here's what my first company did, okay? My first company, on 1 center, you can make roughly $1,000 per week. So instead of making, my pen just died, instead of making 20,000 per week, you made 1,000 per week. So you built the same 2 legs, but once you hit 1,000 per week, guess what? You're stuck. To make another 1,000, you have to build. So again, that's 2 legs, right? 1 leg, 2 legs, right? To make another 1,000, you open another center, and you build leg 3 and leg 4. Now you're at 2,000 per week. Well, but to make another 1,000, you build another 2 legs, leg 5 and 6. Because of 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, you built 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 legs. Okay, but we're only at 3,000. Opulence Global, 1 center, you made 20,000. Yes. Okay, let's go again here. Now you want another 1,000. So that's 1,000. That's another 1,000. Another 1,000. This is your 4,000. You're building how many more legs? Every time you want to make another 1,000, you gotta build 2 more legs. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Leg 7, leg 8. To make another 1,000, again, you have to join at the very bottom again. My pens keep running out here. So to make another 1,000, you have to reinsert yourself at the bottom, what they do, and you build another 2 legs. Now that's like 9 and 10. So you build 10 legs. So again, this is a binary system, guys. This is supposed to be a binary system, but because they have a maximum of $1,000 per center, you're still forced to open many more legs. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. So here you build 10 legs to earn 5,000. So to make 20,000 times 4, you're building 40 legs. Question for you, is this truly a binary system anymore? No. Again, because to make the same 20,000 you can make at Opulence Global, you build 2 legs. In these binaries, because they have a cap on what each one can make, you gotta build 40 legs according to this calculation, right? So my whole thing is, a good number is about, in my opinion, 20,000 per week, or even 10,000 per week is good. We just made it 20,000 per week. But if the cap per center is 1,000 or 1,500 or 2,000, it sucks. It sucks. Because in our company, the same 2 legs we would have built would have made you 20,000. You could have went to the beach 15 years ago, So I'll pause right here because that's a big one that people in binaries don't realize. Let's do a quick pause there. I think we're almost out of time, actually. So yeah, any other thoughts, Cuthbert, you want to, actually, yeah, so
Yes.
I think someone just named out in the comments which company I was talking about, because that was the company. Oh, actually, he made a good point. So in other companies, to maintain your 3 centers, you have to pay 150 2 or 3 times. So if you want to keep all 3 centers, you gotta pay your monthly 150 twice or 3 times. In our company, you keep all 3 centers with the same 150. Yeah. Thank you, Lawrence.
Whoa, that is remarkable. And imagine you only get 1,000 per leg per week. In Opulence Global, you can make up to 20,000 by 3. We're talking about $60,000 per week. So that's the maximum. And when we compare this to others, we have no competitors, in fact. So we do have a fantastic compensation plan, Renee, and I know we are so happy that you continue to educate us on those pitfalls of compensation plan.
You're welcome. And so again, just to finish off this one slide again, it was that some comp plans we just talked about, they only make you 1,000 per week. So to achieve the same thing, you got to build many, many more legs. Again, do you have to double your auto ship to maintain more centers? And Optus Global, once you're LA, you have your monthly 150, you are set for all three. All right. So it's much more simpler. So, again, I wish I could continue, but perhaps I will have to just push the rest of it till next week. And just a quick snippet of what's coming next week is how many legs do you have to build? Okay. Do you get payout? Again, we kind of top that as well too. Some of the variableness as well too. And then requalifications, we'll talk about that next week, about the retention as well too. Okay, retention. And the one thing I want to cover actually beyond that was a really important one called earning per distributor ratio. That's a huge one. We'll cover that next week. Payout and retail sales, there's actually a few more pitfalls here. So my goodness, there's actually a lot more pitfalls out there, right? So again, I guess what we can do is unfortunately just to really respect people's time, we'll just do the pause again. And again, unfortunately today, the rank one was such a big one that it took a lot of our time. But folks, if you wanted me to continue next week, please let me know and I can continue on for next week. I believe our CEO will actually be traveling to the UK next Tuesday as well. So, yes, thank you.
Renee, for me, given what we're getting from these pitfalls and the education we're getting, I am one who votes for you to continue these pitfalls next week. So I'm waiting, ladies and gentlemen, partners on the call. If you want Renee to continue next week, just type in yes.
Give me some love.
Ashton said, Renee, we need more food to eat. So good. We just need to know more about the comp-plan pitfalls. And Renee, the chat room is ablaze with yes, yes, yes.
Oh, thank you, guys.
So it looks like Renee, next week you will continue with the pitfalls. But Renee, tonight, when I look at what you have covered from pitfall number 3, 3 with the payout and ranks, which took a bit of time, and the payout gimmicks and car programs. When you explain that, for me, it is so disadvantageous to persons once they qualify for the car program in certain compensation plans. Well, not ours, guys. You are tied to a lease to a new vehicle, and you have to work so hard to maintain this, or else, as you said, it pushes you into bankruptcy.
Yes.
Our company does not do that. And when you raise the aspect of, if you do not want a car, or you at the point you have a vehicle, then you can convert this car bonus to shopping credit. Renee, I've benefited from that. And it is wonderful. More shopping credit for me to purchase products, Yeah. So we don't have these issues, this pitfall number 4 that really highlighted, ladies and gentlemen, partners. We don't have this issue at all. And payout flushing or blocking of CV, Renee, if you have that and somebody reads the comp plan in any company and continues with that company, then it simply means that you have not fully understood that compensation plan. And thank you, Renee, for enlightening us, for, stretching our minds to understanding, and also being sure and ensuring that we recognize what we have in Opulence Global, for us to continue and increase our appreciation and gratitude for this remarkable plan that we have at Opulence Global. And I know this is my sentiment, but not just mine, but that of every single person on this call tonight. I'm looking at Erin Spring, love our company. Erin says, awesome host, but once again, Thank you, Erin. Alpha said, thank you, Renee, for being a gift to the company and industry.
Thank
Indeed,
you.
you are a gift to the company and the industry. And Renee, you are one I will continue listening to. This Complan video, Renee, I've watched it about 9 times and I still want to watch it again.
Thank you.
It's a great video. Um, Persons are saying yes, yes, yes. Thank you, Renee. Renee, thanks a lot. Yes, yes. Welcome to Kenya. Okay, they're waiting for you in Kenya.
And you know what I can do as well, because I think some people on the call, just to end up with this, you may be wondering, well, what's the best way I can bring this stuff up? Because you probably talk to other people in different companies, and oftentimes, you want to share this stuff, but it might, I've learned a few quick tactics that you can use that we'll share, perhaps after we go through all of the actual pitfalls. As a very final training to this whole segment, what we'll do is I'll share with you guys a few basic questions that you can ask with these other people that you're talking to, different companies, to really open their eyes to and almost like discourage them and to welcome them more to your company as well. So I'll share that as a very last part. But again,
Looking
I,
forward
I
to
gotta
it.
give the as always though, I gotta give a shout out to our CEO, because it's funny, before I came to this company, the very first time I watched the CEO teach his version of the comp plan pitfalls, my mind was blown away. Like I kind of figured out some stuff, having been in the industry for many years, but the way that our CEO summarized it, and I basically just sort of expanded upon it, it was a major eye opener. So again, I just want to say a special thanks to our very own CEO and founder, Mr. Rami Mizralu. And Cuthbert, as always, you're an amazing host. Like I can't say the best host because I want to find other people, but you are an amazing host. Thank you.
Thank you, Renee. And Renee, there's so many more comments, so I will take just a minute just to quickly read. Mavis Steed says, thank you, Renee, you're a gem.
Thanks, hun.
Uh, um, Winsbert from St. Lucia says, wonderful job, Coffee. That's my nickname. My
Okay. I was like, who's
group
that?
with Job Coffee with Renee. Thanks for the info. Lauren says, world best complan designer remain with a heart of gold. Renee is the most unselfish leader in my whole MLM career. Renee. Rachelle Wolf says, yes, I've watched the complan video a few times, and each time I've always been excited. I've always excited. I was the one Renee done. Oh, she's always excited about the one you've done, Renee.
Thank
Ashton
you.
Anderson from Dominica says, Renee, you are very important asset to us all. And I would like to thank you for a very informative and educational session. Looking forward to next week. Renee, many persons are looking forward to it. Rochelle says, thank you, Renee. Renee is my missing piece in life that I have found. And that's from Eric.
Eric, yeah. Thank you, Eric. Feel the same way
Okay,
about you.
we have so many. Fibonia Comfort, you are one of the best hosts. Whoa, learning from you. Oh, thank you, Fibonia. Thank you very much. I try my best, and as I said, with you guys on the call, the chat room ablaze, you guys make this happen. And with people like Renee coming and sharing with us his knowledge, the knowledge that he took so long to get and himself to develop and spent money, I am sure, to get that knowledge. We are getting it here. And all we are asked to do is to just be on this calls. And that's
Well, Cuthbert, let me read some of your compliments for you, because it's kind of hard to talk about yourself sometimes. But again, from Rachel, thank you, Cuthbert. From Lawrence, Cuthbert should be permanent, I guess, or permanent host for life. From Pat, Cuthbert looks more handsome every time on the screen, pretty much every day. Samantha, you're the best. So that way you're not talking about yourself, kind of. So again, thank you so much, guys. So that being said, I guess can't wait till next week, Cuthbert. And
yes, so Renee, let me just promote the end of the winter 2019 World
please,
Tour. We remember that, ladies and gentlemen, we have our CEO, Ramin Mesgalo, and our Senior Vice President, Chief Designer, Sanaz Zuman, will be in London on December 13th, United Kingdom, London on December 13th and 14th at Doubletree by Hilton on 60 Pentonville Road, London. So do promote this store, because persons who get on this store and they reserve their seat and they're there, they will learn so much about our company, and the MLM business and how our great products. So please promote, get your prospects in the at this event, in London. And I am sure that the London tour will prove to be a wonderful tour, and a tour that will result in further expansion to our Opulence global business. With this, I want to thank Renee profusely again for a great job, Renee. You continue to be our star when it comes to Complan. And um, I want to say thank you to everyone who made the effort to be on this call from whatever part of the world: Singapore, Philippines, Toronto, Canada, Alberta, the Caribbean, Kenya, you name it. So many places, guys. I can't name all the countries, but I want to say thank you. This is Cuthbert Nathaniel, LD1 from St. Lucia. And guys, you know, we are always ready to welcome you, those who are suffering from the snow. Come to beautiful tropical St. Lucia. Have a good night, everyone. Good night, Renee.
To everyone. Thank you again.